warm, very good evening. You are watching Primetime English Bulletin on SKTV, and this is Victoria Rajkumari. Before we begin, let's take a look at the headlines first. First phase of Lok Sabha polls for 2 parliamentary seats of Manipur concludes with 68.5% voter turnout till 5 p.m. under heavy security cover. Minister Nongthombambiren appeals people to support BJP and NPF, keeping in mind to save Manipur and decision to protect indigenous population. An elderly man sustained bullet injuries at Moirang Kampu Sajib. Irit Move vandalized EVM, VPPAT burned poll-related documents. And even after first phase polling for Lok Sabha polls held under strict security arrangement, Drivers' Union indefinite ban begins at Imphal to Jiribam Road along National Highway 37. With the rise in digital world, we extend our welcome and gratitude to our dearest viewers for supporting the most trusted and first ever OTT platform SKTV in Manipur that can be watched globally. Now let's take a look at the news in detail. First phase of Lok Sabha's polls for 2 parliamentary seats of Manipur ended with a 68.62% voter turnout till 5 p.m. While the voting was largely peaceful amid heavy security measures, at least one civilian was injured after gunmen opened fire at a polling station in Kurai in Imphal East District, and EVMs were dismantled in some of the polling stations, particularly in Imphal. Voting was relatively peaceful in the hill districts. Voting was held across 32 assembly segments of Inner Manipur Parliamentary Constituency and 15 assembly segments on 2 Outer Manipur ST Parliamentary Constituency in a total of 2,107 polling stations. In Inner Parliamentary Constituency, voter turnout was recorded at 72.32% and 61.98% in Outer Constituency till 5 p.m. Wangkem Constituency in Thobal District recorded the highest voter turnout with 82.41%, followed by Hangang Constituency, which is home polling of Chief Minister N. Biren, registering 80%. Uripur Constituency in Imphal West District recorded the lowest voter turnout with just 56.26%. Notably, voting was held amid the calls for abstaining to participate in the elections by several civil bodies in Valley districts until the present crisis gripping the state is resolved. A total of 6 candidates are in fray for the Inner Manipur Parliamentary Constituency, while 4 candidates is contesting for the Outer Manipur Scheduled Tribe Parliamentary Constituency. Altogether, 645 polling stations was completely managed by all women polling personnel. 2 polling stations is exclusively managed by all people with disabilities (PWD) polling personnel. In addition, 85 special polling stations have been set up for internally displaced voters in Imphal East, Imphal West, Bishnupur, Thobal, Kokching, Churachandpur and Kangpokpi districts. A total of 18,091 internally displaced voters were eligible to exercise their franchise. Over 8,000 polling personnel are being deployed. Chief Minister Nongthombambiren has appealed people to support BJP and NPF, keeping in mind to save Manipur and decision to protect indigenous population. Chief Minister N. Biren, accompanied by his wife Nongthombam Hiainu, casted their votes at 2/16 Sirvand Higher Secondary School polling station at Luang Sangbam Mamanglekai at 9 this morning. Responding to media, the Chief Minister declared that he casted his vote for BJP candidate Thangnaujam Basantakumar. The Chief Minister appealed to people to make choice of their own, however, to keep in mind BJP government's decision to save Manipur and protect indigenous population. He further appealed to the people to make both BJP and NPF represent from Manipur in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's third term.
Manipurgi miyam da ina appeal tawning basi mayam punamaksu isa ki aningba pambagi matungina vote thadabiu tawbudabu Bharatiya Janata Party na ngasi Manipurgi luraba tanja sida lauraiba fireb Manipurgi miyam gi jamta lepa iba fireb Manipur kaidanaba amadi indigenous peoples ku kannanaba fireb thabak sing ase puningda thambirerga Bharatiya Janata Party ki amadi sigi outer dana NDA ki alliance wariba NPF ta animakta vote pibiraga full majority the honorable Prime Minister Modi ji ahum subatam olindaba sauja view hai de member.
A man who came to cast his vote sustained bullet injury after unknown armed miscreants opened fire at the 3/11 polling station Moirang Kampu Sajib Upper Primary School in Kurai constituency. The injured man has been identified as Krishnam Sanayaima, aged 78 years. He sustained a bullet injury on his right upper back and admitted at Raj Medicity North AOC for treatment. According to doctors' report, the man's condition is stable. However, surgery will be required since a projectile has been detected inside the man's body. Meanwhile, an eyewitness of the incident informed that two unknown armed miscreants forcibly entered the polling station where a commotion occurred, after which the duo fired several rounds when the people tried to chase after them, which led to the injury of the man by stray bullet. Polling officer, the voting began peacefully, but tension erupted after unknown armed miscreants created commotion around 2 in the afternoon. The polling officer related that the duo inquired for Congress and BJP agents who were on duty at the polling booth. Later, they captured poll-related papers from the Congress agent but failed their attempt to get hold of the agent after Maira Paibis and locals in the area blocked them.
Election lepapadena adagi election vote mayam habda andaki MP election se masida thoiba incident je smainam thok akoi gi kendra manung se aham boin ada yamla live tv adu je ma di kana simro mai marum pali mai di adu mai marum ju operation to ga loko na ba na kana preparation to masung mayam ju se phone bidaba adagi akoi gi leibiriba organizing sing na so sum se level da som ge level da no wai sana bi public da son bi da workers in the line be ama sing line be do ko ji hai bo polling station 3/11 the yam peaceful oina ko vote to ba adu mo mo ne ana yam peaceful oina election to ba ja ka se sa smain tholo ka ne ko phaja bo tang kana to wa.
On the other hand, CAF and PD Minister Leishangtem Susindro visited the injured man at the hospital. Responding to media, the minister said such kind of incident had never happened before which he contested elections in Kurai. He said the man has suffered 2 rib bone fractures, adding that the incident is unfortunate. The MLA further added that the gun-firing incidents have been reported in the past 2 to 3 days in his constituency and appealed to all not to repeat such act in the near future again. Now moving on with other news. Amid the nearing 1-year-old violence in Manipur, first phase polling for inner parliamentary constituency of Lok Sabha polls was conducted under heavy security cover. Reports of gun firings as well as destroying EVM and poll disturbances whereby unknown armed miscreants were recorded at several polling stations in some parts of the valley. One such gun firing incident was reported at 27/8 Thamna Pokpi Upper Primary Polling Station in Moirang Assembly constituency, where voting started at 7 this morning. Voting was disrupted due to the gun firing around 8. However, voting resumed from 3 p.m. under heavy security cover. Amid tight security, several polling stations experienced disturbances, including proxy voting. As a part of it, an elderly voter who came to vote at polling station number 5/31 at National Children's School of Kongman Zone 4 of Thongzu Assembly constituency in Imphal East witnessed his own proxy voting while he was waiting his turn, creating undesirable chaotic situation. According to the voter, who was unable to exercise his voting rights, unknown armed miscreants dressed in black carried out the proxy voting. The incident was followed by destruction of electronic voting machine by the enraged voters. Later, the concerned officers asked for repoll. However, the public declined, claiming that they will not vote if their voting rights were lost.
Howji, akuni lajari pasi Thongzu Assembly constituency ki polling challa Kongman Zone 4 ki polling station number 5/31 ni akoi lajari pase ado Manipur Lok Sabha election ka mari lena vote thada ba gidamakta lairiba miyam asigi marakta nakhaki mamang da hai tare ko pam de ko thamdo khara kana gumo organization mami matha khang da organization ama lakram naga vote se nan ku sapuda namnam le hai ki khatana ama hojik kana hojik mayam asi vote thadana roi hai bagi kaino da hojik lainare officials sing nadi vote se amukha su hansi makupti ki hansi hai bagi options adumak thamni adu sidai si laibiri ko local singina di apagi vote hanba handaba dudi thamgraga akoi voting rights mat pani kana kari bidamakta tawramni banu hai bagi ki ba thangge akoi makoi vote thadana roi hai bagi ki tu hong lo lo lainare cameraman digital jam kan kalone na kaujam jari pa ai Monica Maigba, Sktv's News.
Voting went peacefully at special polling station number 11 at Wangu Higher Secondary School, meant only for victims of the ongoing Manipur conflict, where only women polling personnel performed their duty. A total of 223 voters exercised their voters in rights poll. Meanwhile, voting could not be started at the stipulated time fixed by ECI at 29/24 polling station at Wangu Higher Secondary School. The PRO of the polling station, where only women polling officials operated, informed that voting was delayed for around 1 hour 20 minutes due to failure of VPPAT machine and ballot unit. Later, voting went smoothly after sector magistrate repaired the machine. Arambai Tengol, in press release, has claimed that the viral videos circulated in social media regarding today's Lok Sabha polls using its name were not instructed by them. In a statement released from the control room by Laishram Robasan, it stated that Arambai Tengol is not related to any violence occurred during poll. However, the MLA of respective assembly constituency or the candidate's worker might have misused their name. He also urged the police to apprehend and prosecute anyone who used their identities illegally. The statement mentioned that certain individuals who seek to destroy the state in the name of election are influencing people to see Arambai negatively. Arambai Tengol further clarified that purported viral video of a woman being attacked is not related to Arambai Tengol whatsoever. General Secretary of BJP K. Sarad has slammed INC candidate Dr. Angomcha Bimol Akoijam for violating election model code of conduct. He said the candidate, along with large number of supporters visiting various polling stations, is a method to provoke the voters. The General Secretary expressed disappointment over the candidate, along with black-dressed persons, for creating chaos instead of attempting to hold free and fair election. Speaking to media at the press conference held at Thambal Shanglin, Nithe Park Jutek, K. Sadat stated that Bimol was dramatizing by violating the Model Code of Conduct. Stating the incident as unfortunate, he stated that a complaint has been against INC candidate Dr. Bimol. Meanwhile, responding to media persons on several incidents that occurred during the poll, Sadat maintained that they were unrelated to BJP and had not intimidated anyone to vote for BJP.
Bimolna mana chapam hum kudingmakta magi security plus ma masaga chatpanatana mi mayam puraga provoke toba miyam da langhan ba polling booth langhan ba chigi thabo ase tawasi masi BJP Manipur Pradesh na strongly condemn tawi maram di aina pi basidi ma masadu khotang polling station man changba yabagi pass ni pirisi meter chamagi manungda mi atopam changba yadi election free and fair thenagada karigi damga mi mayam puraga chatorino candidate na chatpai base maga loinana magi election agent na chatkani masu every polling station na changba yabagi rightly election ki atmosphere yam chauna kai re haidra koi ECI da election electoral officer da aduga I concerned are the complaint of jare kuji pangthoi ba siguma election time patra gan pal suba lok sabha election gi ahan phase hai masi langhan bagi daita se congress party na oigada bani ha se BJP na tawthong na thamjari.
Independent candidate R.K. Somendro, popularly known as Kaiku, demanded an answer as to who will bear responsibility for the mass disruption of voting process allegedly carried out by armed miscreants. Unlike previous elections, he said this election is unprecedented, marred with violence. Kaiku said the unwanted consequences resulted from holding the elections even as the May 3rd crisis persisted. The state had never witnessed such level of chaos, adding that he demanded repoll of the entire voting process. He also appealed to the people to pressure the government for repoll, citing the mass disruptions.
I am among the Hajiduni. I'm going to free and fair with the Monday. I would have some originally my put the river, Iran, and listen to Salaponina, Sakanda, Mam, Clay, both had them not only a good capture of Slava, Sipochi, Sikan responsible with the gay, I love Libra, the government love Libra, Kaino, Torize. Togiba am elections in the city of am by free and fair with the hanging elections at the name of the demo. Doina, Mokoki Halmana, Sumbani in the color.
Even after first phase polling for Lok Sabha polls was held under strict security arrangement, drivers' union indefinite ban began at Imphal to Jiribam Road along National Highway 37. It may be recalled that the drivers' union had announced the indefinite ban yesterday against a gun attack on goods truck and demanding a compensation to injured driver as well as security along with appropriate ROP. No vehicles were seen applying along the national highway due to the ban. Speaking to SKTV News, the drivers stated that the charges leveled by Union Kuki National Army, in short UKNA, against the drivers are unacceptable, as the goods transported by the drivers are not only for a particular community but for all communities residing in Manipur. They stated that the charges leveled against the drivers should be withdrawn. The drivers appealed to authority concerned to provide security arrangements and to sort out measures not to repeat such unfortunate incidents in near future again. The driver unions maintain that the indefinite ban will be continued until their demands are fulfilled.
Ban Haudisi Maramji Jiri to Imphal and Bise, I couldn't celebrate Scorchi Matiksadaba, or Matiksadaba, Sisulere, Asigi Mataka, UK, and Tamlakiva, diversion the Maran Sizzaliva, Asi, diversion house, Yazaninde, Maramdi, diver Aquina Lazari, Basi, Community, Amataginate, Community Mayambini, diver Aquina Puzori, Polams and Asi. Maitai khaltana season namanate Maitai Naga Nepali amasung Muslim mayang sing ba kaya na season nari ba polam ni asira community amanda da taishin nabi gano masi akoi yazaning de asim makhata na asi to bidana ba aina media gi thonga appeal tawjari सरकार माइकई मियंग चंहनी अखोई मसीदा सरकार मियंग चंगक्ट्रीफो अखोई बंद से मखा ताना चथजगीगनी बंद से तौर लोकेलिटी गाड़ी मचा मसूदी अखोई थिंजदे नेशनल हाईवे 37 लंबी इम्फाल टू जिरीबाम लंबीदा चलीबा गाड़ी सिंह अखोई अमत चलनजदे मखा ताना चलनजरोय अखोई डिमांड फंगदिबाव अखोई मखा ताना खोंगन से चंगजगीगनी.
The proscribed Kangli Park Communist Party, in short KCP, has clarified that the gun attack at the residence of former Jilla Parishad Athokpam Okin, who is also a member of Indian National Congress Party, yesterday is not related in any with the group. In a press statement released by the outfit, Information and Publicity in Charge S. Mangal stated that the gun attack at the residence of Athokpam Okins at Kurai Tinsit Road, Sajor Lekai in Imphal East District is not related with the outfit or its Red Army. The release further continued that the party has no connections with any activities related with the Lok Sabha polls or should involved in any poll-related activities. A highly anticipated Manipuri film's Oneness, directed by Priyakanta Lystrom, will have its international debut at Sktv'S Pride Film Festival 2024, which is the largest queer film festival of South Asia. The groundbreaking film has already made history as the first Manipuri film to focus on same-sex relationships. The International Film Festival will be held in Mumbai from 15 May to 19 May, with Oneness being the only homosexual film representing Northeast India this year. Maya Chaudhary, Priyakanta Lystrom, Suresh Ngasepam, Sachinkar Sagolsem, Harendra Lystrom, Ramba Leshengtham and Rojesh Saikom played prominent parts. The film Oneness, produced by Roshil Singla and Priyakanta Lystrom, is an important milestone for director Priyakanta Lystrom as it marks his debut for the full-length feature filmmaker under the banner of Priyakanta Productions. From National News, voting for Lok Sabha polls in Phase 1 was held today, which covered 102 constituencies across 17 states and 4 union territories amid sporadic incidents of violence in West Bengal and an IED blast in Chhattisgarh that left a CRPF commandant injured. Minor EVM glitches were reported at some booths in Tamil Nadu, Arunachal Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Assam and Manipur. In West Bengal, sources from both parties said polling was marred by violence in Cooch Bihar seat. Both the TMC and the BJP clashed and lodged 80 and 39 complaints against each other respectively related to poll violence, voter intimidation and assaults on poll agents. In strife-torn Manipur, altercation broke out between locals and unidentified persons in some constituencies under the inner Manipur Lok Sabha seat. In Chhattisgarh, polling in the Naxal hit Bastar Lok Sabha constituency, where an assistant commandant of the Central Reserve Police Force CRPF was injured when an improvised explosive device IED planted by Naxalites went off in Bijapur district. While the BJP-led NDA under Prime Minister Narendra Modi is seeking a stronger majority, the constituents of the opposition India bloc are hoping for a rebound after facing reverses in the 2014 and 2019 elections. The Supreme Court directed district authorities to decide within 3 days on applications seeking permissions for public gatherings ahead of Lok Sabha polls. The direction came on a public interest litigation filed by activists Aruna Roy and Nikhil Dey. Appearing for the petitioners, Advocate Prashant Bhushan told the bench of Justices B.R. Gavai and Sandeep Mehta that blanket prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the Code of Criminal Procedures have been issued in the past 6 months for the whole duration of the Lok Sabha elections. Bhushan told the court that there has to be some well-founded apprehension of breach of peace. When asked by the court to present any such orders by the district authorities, the advocate referred to one passed on March 16 by the district magistrate on Bamar. The order read that Lok Sabha elections have been announced by the Election Commission. As per the instructions of the Election Commission, the Lok Sabha elections should be conducted in a peaceful, free, fair, well-organized manner. It added that no person will be able to organize a procession or public meeting without the prior written permission of the concerned returning officer, but this restriction will not apply to marriage ceremonies and funeral processions. The Indian Embassy in UAE advised the inbound Indian passengers traveling to or transiting through Dubai International Airport to reschedule non-essential travel until operations normalize after the city witnessed unprecedented rains this week. The United Arab Emirates is trying to recover from the record-setting rains this week, which has caused a massive flooding in Dubai and surrounding areas. The embassy in the advisory said while the UAE authorities were working around the clock to ensure normalization of operations, the airport authorities had advised that passengers may travel to the airport only after final confirmation from the respective airlines regarding the departure date and time of flights. The advisory said due to the disruption caused by the unprecedented weather conditions in the UAE earlier this week, Dubai International Airport has temporarily limited the number of inbound flights. And before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at the headlines once again. First phase of Lok Sabha polls for 2 parliamentary seats of Manipur concludes with 68.58% voter turnout till 5 p.m. under heavy security cover. Chief Minister Nongthoman Biren appeals people to support BJP and NPF, keeping in mind to save Manipur and decision to protect indigenous population. An elderly man sustained bullet injuries at Moirang Kampu Sajib. Irit Move vandalized EVM, VPPAT burned poll-related documents. And even after first phase polling for Lok Sabha polls held under strict security arrangement, driver unions' indefinite ban begins at Imphal to Jiribam Road along National Highway 37. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching SKTV News, the first ever OTT platform in Manipur. Please visit SKTV website, that is skyic.in, to download SKTV app. You can also now access to Google Play Store to download the app for free. Now, the exciting news is that SKTV iOS app is now also accessible on Apple App Store. For early access, use the QR code. The download link will also be pinned in our comment sections. Join us for real-time news updates, exclusive interviews, and comprehensive analysis of current affairs in Manipur. Till then, good night.